Dr. Paul Richard is a KPU professor of air quality, water resources, and solid waste management. Natanya Castillo will now ask him about his experience at KPU. When did you first join the KPU community and why?
Okay, it's a long time ago. I've been at KPU for nearly 30 years. When I joined, I hadn't really heard about KPU, which was Kwantlen College at the time. And there was an opening at KPU, so I took it. I started part-time. One thing led to another. I started picking up a few extra courses. Then I became the co-op coordinator for the students in my program, Environmental Protection. And finally, I became the chair, passing on the co-op coordination. So I've been at KPU for a long time, and now I've just started this year, half retirement. I'm kind of going back to where I started. I teach 3 courses part-time. So, it's not there all the time. And I've given up all my responsibilities as a program chair and so on to more junior members of the department. So it's kind of cool because it's the whole arc of a career and one that I'm, happy with.
What is your favorite story of your time at KPU?
Probably one of the fun thing, and it was not my doing, I just took the opportunity that somebody else had suggested, was to create an exchange between our students in horticulture as well, and since also students in the agriculture program, with students in Cuba. And so I went to Cuba, got the stuff organized. Much to my surprise, I was the one who spoke the best Spanish of our delegation, which was not saying much. It took a while to get things happening, but eventually we had several years, I think we had 6 years in a row of students, not all of our students, but because we're a co-op program, all of our students look forward to work in placement in the workplace, 4 months and then another slice of 4 months, and working in a research lab in Cuba. But to see what the impact was on those students who came back, how much they'd learned, and not just, we really learned how anaerobic digesters work, that was my project, but much more, we learned how a different culture gets things done. And it can be very frustrating because you expect things done one way and it's not get done the other way. But then you really learn to adapt and you realize that, we did get that done just by a complete backdoor that I never thought about, kind of thing. So a lot of growth in terms of resilience, in terms of knowing there's more than one way to do things. That was really cool to see the students coming back.
What is something that you would like to say to people new to KPU?
I guess for me, the main learning experience in comparison was going from UBC to Kwantlen College to then Kwantlen KPU. And it's that KPU is still small. We've managed to keep our roots of the community college. Now we do things beyond that, obviously, but at UBC, we started a really cool program and then it got caught in red tape and it was totally torpedoed. And I never knew who decided what, when, and what. It was just like there's so many layers of bureaucracies and hierarchy. I'm not saying that things are easy at KPU, but they're much easier because it's not hard to meet people, to find who's in charge of this, who can sort of say yay or nay. You can talk to people in the funding office. You can talk to people in the research office. We can get things happening if we don't forget that, if we get out of our silos. We can still manage. And I don't want to say, it's easy. It never is. But it's still possible. And that's the beautiful part.
What are you working on right now?
Here I'm going to talk about a thing that I'm quite passionate about. And I'm really thankful to Kwantlen because I teach environmental. One of the courses I used to teach was environmental issues, which in a way is a very depressing course. And I've kind of been going, how do I make it so that it's not so depressing? And I was a tourist in Germany. I was in Hamburg when Hamburg was voted the Green City of Europe. What I saw there, particularly in Hamburg, a thing which is the International Building Exhibit, which is where they challenge architects and engineers to come up with new styles of buildings according to a given theme. And the theme there was environment and climate change. So I saw integrated energy storage. And those are all from like several years ago. And I'm thinking, my impression, frankly, was after I put my jaw back up, was I just stepped into the future. So that's what really turns my crank. And I'm hoping now that I'm retired, possibly turn that into a book project, because being depressed, losing hope about the future, it's just completely paralyzing. And we have to admit that, yes, things will change. Some things will not change for the better. But thinking that there's nothing we can do about it is just so demoralizing, but also so wrong. So I want to do my bit as much as possible to let people know, no, there are solutions out there.
What is something you'd like people to know about you?
It's nothing special. And I think that that's the part that's important. If I end up getting a book out, if I end up being able to convince people that, hey, this is not the end of the world or whatever, it's not because there's anything special about me. I'm just a guy who's pragmatic, and I'm a guy who's optimistic. And I think that's really all that's necessary.